Soldiers in combat have reported noticing a bullet wound only minutes after being shot, while a paper cut can produce disproportionate pain. Athletes describe playing through broken bones, and people under hypnosis or intense distraction experience surgical procedures with dramatically less pain. Pain is not a simple readout of tissue damage. It is a complex construction that the nervous system modulates based on attention, emotion, expectation, and context. Ronald Melzack and Patrick Wall's gait control theory, proposed in 1965, fundamentally changed the understanding of pain. The theory proposes that a neural gate in the spinal cord can be opened or closed to allow more or fewer pain signals to reach the brain. Large-diameter sensory fibers carrying touch and pressure information can close the gate and reduce pain, explaining why rubbing a stubbed toe helps. Small-diameter fibers carrying pain signals open the gate. Critically, the brain can also send signals downward to close the gate, explaining why psychological states like distraction, fear, and anxiety powerfully modulate pain. Pain is not a single sensation but a multidimensional experience with at least three components. The sensory discriminative component, processed by the somatosensory cortex, encodes the location, intensity, and quality of pain. The affective motivational component, processed by the anterior cingulate cortex and insular cortex, produces the unpleasantness and suffering of pain. The cognitive evaluative component reflects attention and appraisal. This multidimensional structure explains why social rejection, grief, and physical pain all activate overlapping brain regions, and why opioids selectively reduce the unpleasantness without eliminating pain detection. The brain's active role in constructing pain is demonstrated by phenomena that cannot be explained by simple tissue damage signals. Phantom limb pain, pain felt in a limb that no longer exists, proves that pain can arise from central nervous system processes in the absence of peripheral input. The placebo effect reduces pain by 30 to 40% through the release of endorphins triggered by expectation alone. Nocebo effects, pain increased by negative expectations, show the same system operating in reverse. These phenomena make biological sense. The brain evolved to predict threats, not just detect them. The vestibular system consists of fluid-filled structures in the inner ear that detect head position and movement. The three semicircular canals, oriented in three perpendicular planes, detect rotational acceleration of the head. The otolith organs, the utricle and saccule, detect linear acceleration in the direction of gravity, signaling head tilt. The vestibular system sends information to the cerebellum and brainstem to coordinate balance, posture, and eye movements. Motion sickness occurs when visual input conflicts with vestibular signals. The brain interprets the mismatch as possible poisoning and triggers nausea. Proprioception, often called the sixth sense, is the continuous sensory feedback from muscles, tendons, and joint receptors that tells the brain where each body part is in space without needing to look. This sense is essential for coordinated movement. Without proprioceptive feedback, tasks as simple as walking or reaching would require continuous visual monitoring. People who lose proprioception due to nerve damage can no longer walk without watching their feet. Athletes develop finely tuned proprioception through training. A basketball player senses without looking that their foot is about to step out of bounds. The olfactory system is unique among the senses in having a direct anatomical connection to the limbic system, especially the amygdala and hippocampus, without relay through the thalamus. This direct pathway explains the extraordinary emotional and mnemonic power of smell. A brief whiff of sunscreen can instantly transport you to a childhood beach vacation with a vividness that visual reminders rarely match. This is the Proustian memory effect. Humans can distinguish over 1 trillion different odor combinations, far more than was assumed just decades ago, using approximately 400 types of olfactory receptors. Taste, or gustation, is mediated by taste receptor cells and taste buds located primarily on the tongue. Humans can detect 5 basic taste qualities: sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami. The savory quality of glutamate found in meat, aged cheese, and monosodium glutamate. Each quality likely served an adaptive function. Sweet signals carbohydrates, salty signals sodium, umami signals protein, sour can signal spoilage, and bitter triggers avoidance of potential toxins. The commonly taught idea that different parts of the tongue detect different tastes is a myth. All regions can detect all 5 qualities. What we call flavor is not simply taste. It is the integration of taste information from the tongue with retronasal olfactory information from the nasal passage during eating. Approximately 80% of perceived flavor comes from olfaction rather than taste receptor activation. This is why food tastes bland when you have a head cold that blocks nasal passages. You are receiving taste information, but almost no olfactory information, leaving only the 5 basic qualities. The food and beverage industry exploits this routinely, using aroma manipulation to enhance perceived flavor without changing the chemical composition of food. Pain, balance, body awareness, smell, and taste are often called the minor senses, but they are anything but minor. Pain is the nervous system's survival alarm. Balance and proprioception are prerequisites for all voluntary movement. And smell, with its direct limbic connections, may be the most emotionally powerful sense we have. Together, these systems complete the picture of how a biological organism stays oriented in and responsive to the world.